Is Stalker Clear Sky worth playing today? Despite being janky, Shadow of Chernobyl left me wanting more. There were so many interesting things happening in that game that I was excited to keep exploring, and where the story left off was a pretty big question mark. But does the next game in the series hit the right targets? Or does it repeatedly jam up like so many of my weapons during this playthrough? I'm RemisVancosid, and I'm on a quest to play through all the Stalker games for the first time and see if they hold up. So let's talk about Stalker Clear Sky. There is so much that I loved about this game, and also quite a bit that I really did not. Stalker Clear Sky is simultaneously a prequel to the first game and a standalone story. Released about a year after the first game, Stalker Clear Sky introduces a new faction previously unheard of: Clear Sky. Clear Sky are like the investigators of the Zone. While Duty might want to fight back against the Zone, and Freedom want to build a life within it, Clear Sky want to understand and research it. They want to know the who, what, where, why, and how of everything Zone related. Not for any personal gain, apart from knowledge. They are like the Zone's independent nerds and hold no government affiliation. We play as S.T.A.L.K.E.R, a mercenary who has been hired to help protect some of the scientists while on missions in the swamps. We are out and about when suddenly an emission strikes out of nowhere. S.T.A.L.K.E.R should be dead, but somehow he survives. Clear Sky pick you up, give you some equipment and put you right back to work, where bam, you were hit by another emission and survive once again. Dr. Phil is very impressed.
You survived the emission again.
And sends you off to go and talk to old mates Sido and Corden about a group of stalkers who might be causing the Zone to act so erratically. And that's where the game opens up. Immediately, there are some noticeable differences to Shadow of Chernobyl. Firstly, after being forced into playing with static lighting in the first game, Clear Sky blew me away with its visuals. I couldn't believe how great it looked. I found myself just stopping and enjoying the scenery every so often. Visuals aside, the gun accuracy at the start feels immensely better, bullets feel like they travel from the pistol to the intended point and do a decent chunk of damage. Much like the previous game, enemies get this benefit too, and sit you down at the slightest glimpse of your forehead. This accuracy, I believe, is tied to the swamp combat situations, as unfortunately, when the distance of battles increases from medium range to long range due to enemy equipment, the all too familiar frustration of unpredictable bullet trajectory returns. This can be reduced with upgrades, but we'll talk about that later. Adding to the frustration of combat is the fact that most enemies are really excited to throw grenades at you, and they're really, really good at it. It is a death sentence to stay behind one piece of cover for more than 10 seconds. You will go from full health to instantly dead from one well-placed grenade. And trust me when I say that enemies know how to place a grenade. The explosion timer on the grenade begins from the moment of being thrown by the enemy, meaning that if you are fighting a long-range battle, or at least a fight that would require a scope to get some decent idea of what you are shooting at, when an enemy throws a grenade at you, there is a chance that it will explode right as it lands next to you. NPCs say a line each time they throw a grenade, but if there is a lot of gunshots going on, there won't be a clear warning of a grenade incoming, and you'll just instantly die. I found myself becoming very aware of the voice lines that indicate a grenade being thrown, and immediately and blindly fleeing from wherever I was fighting just to survive. While frustrating, it is kind of funny to see multiple grenades all land and explode under S.T.A.L.K.E.R out of nowhere, as if you were fighting the Zone's all-star professional baseball team. The introduction of the upgrade system was perhaps what excited me the most about Clear Sky. From the moment that I approached Mr. Fix-It and saw that upgrade button, I knew I was going to be happy. Upgrading feels fantastic. Though, the upgrade paths were an interesting mechanic that I didn't pick up on until it was too late. I got into the habit of slapping down upgrades on weapons and armour, trying to fill out the first tier before moving on to the second, and then got confused when I suddenly couldn't complete the second tier of upgrades. The prerequisites really make you question what you'd prefer from your equipment. with each path making you sacrifice potentially decent upgrades. One upgrade that I wish I had invested in sooner was night vision. While some armor comes with night vision in Shadow of Chernobyl by default, it is an upgrade in Clear Sky. One that I thought I could do without for just one more night. But night is terrifying. It is pitch black, and your little torch does not cut it. Unless you add in a mod to get a sleeping bag, you will be doing missions and travelling through the long dark nights, where night vision would be immensely helpful. I can't tell you the number of times I got jump scared by just bandits. Factions play a big part in Clear Sky, with the implementation of faction wars, missions, and goodwill systems. You really get a feel for each faction thanks to unique NPCs and area domination style tasks. You can lose hours upon hours just hanging out with your faction buddies, holding points on the map, and wiping out the jerks you were beefing with. Shout out to Judy. Freaking though ganja seems good.
Peace out, dude. Too bad we didn't roll a joint together.
You can grind out goodwill and get access to more items from that faction's merchants, including specific armor and weapons. The idea that you can join up with the bandits seems pretty bloody fun, and definitely something I'd be keen to try out in a future playthrough, though their non-stop relentless poker music might drive me insane. There's also something really cool about travelling across a zone line, loading in, and finding a heap of your faction buddies also coming across. Add in the radio chatter that occurs during tasks or just randomly, and it makes areas feel a bit more dynamic and alive, instead of the static placement of NPCs in the first game. These dynamic placements, tasks, and faction-specific areas I think add a raft of opportunities that highlight that the NPC AI is a bit of a mess. There is just so much going on, and bugs just continually pop up, especially when loading a quick save. The squad you are running with to capture a point suddenly turns around and starts walking away. Random characters will be dancing or stuck looking like they are having a nervous breakdown. Bases can't be cleared out completely as your ability to draw weapons is taken away by default, leaving you to get shot at by merchants through their chair. It's all a bit of a beautiful mess. While the story of Clear Sky is great, and seeing the slight differences in the world compared to Shadow of Chernobyl was really interesting, the last 3 areas drove me crazy. The game felt like it shifted into a weird corridor shooter nightmare that just flat out was not fun at times. It seemed like it wanted to feel like a war zone was erupting around your character and you had to fight to advance to the next piece of cover, which is fine, but add in the inevitable rain of grenades, dwindling healing supplies, and enemies who can literally warp in next to you and behind you, and I think I had worn down my quick load key. The first game had a similar issue, with the white-knuckled anxiety of coming across enemies out in the open quickly changes in the last section of the game to white-knuckled irritation of having to wade through another 12 waves of grunts with high-powered rifles. Other mentionable changes in Clear Sky are that psi damage is absolutely here, and mostly dished out by these spooky looking anomalies. These single-handedly made artifact hunting a real pain in the ass, as I couldn't quite work out where was safe and where wasn't, but they looked really eerie and cool, so it was easy to forgive them. Bandages no longer are baby heals, but are used to stop bleeding. Food takes the crown of baby heals, and in a jam you can nurse Scar back to health with like 12 cans of cat food. Because of this, health management is a little more interesting in Clear Sky, and had me actively searching bodies for more bandages, medkits, and food, whereas in Shadow of Chernobyl, my guy had stacks without trying. All in all, I really enjoyed my time in Clear Sky, and I think it holds up fairly well. Up until the last few maps, I was having an absolute blast exploring the small differences and enjoying the added upgrade system in faction wars. While I said Shadow of Chernobyl was most likely a one and done, Clear Sky has me keen to play through again, namely to try out different factions, upgrades, find more artifacts, and discover just what else is hiding around the corners in this game. I look forward to jumping into Call of Pripyat ASAP, and am excited to continue on this adventure. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I hope to catch you in the next video.
Looking for a tip or just some booze?